722, 13 degrees. Temperature back up a degree here. Meteorologist Tom Bavakwa says 4 to 6 inches expected in central Massachusetts. All in all, talking to Greg from next door from WSRS. Typical New England snowstorm. I mean, people are kind of freaking out a little bit, but...
Yeah. Well, we haven't had a ton of snow this winter.
Well, that's why. We're due. Go out, get your bread,
We've been
get
lucky.
your milk. Call it a night. That's
it was
all.
like 60 degrees on Christmas. Come on, people.
I enjoyed that.
That was awesome.
A lot of people complain that they missed the white Christmas. No problem
no, that
there
was
with
great.
Deflategate day number 5 coming off Bill Belichick, Tom Brady's press conference, Dan Ferentino, Tom Carroll in this morning, Jim Polito with a well-deserved day off. Actually, I was reading an article here from Chad Finn over at the Boston Globe. Great article this morning, basically saying that Bill Belichick and Tom Brady were kind of in cahoots. And that basically the way Bill Belichick kind of came out yesterday and strongly went against any allegations. Basically, he believes that, one, owner Robert Kraft told him better damn discuss it because you're the face of the franchise. Everyone's questioning you. Get out there. This isn't a press conference for me. This is a coach press conference. Number 2, he's probably a little bit nervous of the fallout. Obviously, after Spygate, after having already received fines, whatever else, he is still the head coach of the franchise. He is still the one who is supposed to make sure of things like this. Unfortunately, as minute and minuscule as it might be, and as Karen says, as much as it might be a kind of a witch hunt here against the Patriots.
Great
from the
call
rest
from
of the
Karen.
country. Great call. I still think, though, that he's still nervous, that he still could see some kind of repercussion. We've seen it with the New Orleans Saints over Bounty Gate. Another gate. I don't understand why we get all the gate stuff. That's a good question.
The gate stuff. Why do we add gate?
Hate the gate. So what else would we call this? Deflate?
But the reason why it was called Watergate, it was at the Watergate Hotel. The gate has nothing to do with controversy. The word gate and controversy don't mean the same thing.
I think forever they are linked.
They're just tied.
Hand in hand, Tom.
Feel bad for the word gate.
Yeah, so, I think that's what I was saying. I think Bill Belichick probably is a little bit scared of some repercussions. Obviously, if you had heard nothing, if mum was the word out of Patriots, and they had not come out and said anything, and they just kind of left it to the NFL's ruling, do you think that maybe NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell would be harder on them? Or the fact that they are now kind of putting it in the face? Whether or not you believe them, that's a different story, but at least they faced it head on.
You know what? I don't think that these press conferences are going to have any effect on whether or not the Patriots are punished.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's really going to boil down to their investigation and what they find. And I don't think they're going to find much. I really don't.
No.
Belichick and Brady don't come out that strongly against the allegations unless they firmly believe they didn't do anything wrong. They're way too smart to come out and boldface lie to the world. This thing was on CNN, BBC, Fox News. They're not going to come out and be that against it unless they know they didn't do anything wrong. So that's why I think this thing is overblown. It's overblown because they're the Patriots, they're the face of the NFL, and people want a reason to hate them.
Is part of the reason we have yet to hear from the NFL the fact that they're kind of sick of being embarrassed? We've seen a lot of embarrassment over the Ray Rice situation. We've seen a lot of embarrassment over the Adrian Peterson situation. Time and time again over the last 6 months, you look at some of the way that the NFL has handled scandals, hasn't necessarily been the most positive spin for the NFL.
Right,
So
they're dragging their feet with
Are they
this.
dragging their feet just to do complete due diligence on this situation?
You know, I really think they are waiting until they are done to come out and say, okay, this is what happened. This is what we're going to do. It's over. Let's move on to Super Bowl week.
Now-
Because Super Bowl week is their week. They become the biggest story in the country. They already are, always.
Now, is that because you think it's due to due diligence, or they just want the...
It's a combination.
They want
I
the
think that
game
they
to be the standout.
Yeah, they are combining both. They want to come out and say exactly what they're going to do all at once. Unlike with the domestic violence stuff where it was 2 games and then they came out and Goodell was like, oh, we're fine. And then he had the press conference, blah, blah, blah. You know, they want to come out and say what they're going to do, and then it's Super Bowl week. They want to focus on the game.
Because also I think, at least as a New England Patriots fan, I would look at it as, so the Patriots have allegations against them which you may or may not be able to prove, and Bill Belichick would get, per se, X amount of game suspension.
Right.
Where you look at Ray Rice, who got at first 2 games. Adrian Peterson at first was just not able to play, was still getting a game check, whatever else.
Mm-hmm.
I think you would see a high uproar, at least from these Patriots fans or people who are against the NFL for those two situations.
Yeah, I mean, we're not going to be seeing Brady or Belichick on any commissioner's exempt list.
Yeah.
That's for sure. I mean, if someone is getting punished, I think it's going to be a fine, and I think it's going to be Brady. Or if it turns out that it was some random guy in the equipment room that did this, he's going to get fired. He's going to get axed. He probably already has.
Right from the start, I've kind of felt as though the ball boy is going to be the one to take
he's
going to
be the fall guy. The guy making $10 an hour on the sidelines.
There's always a fall guy, that poor college kid trying to make his way up through an organization, get his first job with an NFL team. All right, I get to go pump up balls.
Hey,
get to work with
that's
Tom
how
Brady
Eric Mangini got his start into coaching.
That's true. Look at that.
So maybe the next Eric Mangini is getting nipped in the bud.
Nipped in the bud a little too soon.
Thank God. We don't need another one.
7:28 here in the morning, of course. Deflategate, the big story across New England, across